Alrighty, so this is about settlers coming to America. So the first question we need to ask is, what were the motivating factors that caused explorers and others to come to America? So one of the first things is religious freedom. In Europe at the time of settlers coming here in the 1500s, early 1600s, Europe had two main religions at the time. There was Catholicism and Protestantism. Um, Both of them were forms of Christianity. Protestants belonged to the Church of England. That's actually what the church was called, the Church of England. And it was, in essence, the government. It was run by the king. But some of the Protestants started to feel that the church was corrupted and had moved away from original scripture. These people were called separatists, and they believe not in celebrating Christmas and Easter as they were ordained because they didn't feel like that was actually scripturally sound. They didn't believe in hymns. There are certain prayers they didn't say, and so they felt like the church had moved too far away from scripture, and they started voicing those opinions. Well, at the time, the Church of England was, like I said, part of the government. So if you went against the church, it was actually treason. And these separatists found that they had to flee the country because they were being persecuted for treason. And one of the things they could find was religious freedom in the New World. So they had this opportunity to be, if they were willing to leave England to go to a whole new world of things that were unknown to them, it was a dangerous trip, but they could worship freely in the New World. The other thing, a common expression is God, glory, and gold. Those are kind of the three big things that explorers were coming to the New World for. The first is God. They wanted to spread Christianity to people all over the world. They knew of native settlers there, or Native Americans, so the settlers wanted to spread Christianity to those Native Americans. Then there's glory. They wanted greater power for themselves and expanding their empire. So if you look at this map right here, you can kind of see how they were doing this. But France, England, Spain, they're not huge countries, especially compared to the United States. And so at the time, exploring and settling in colonies and making your own settlements expanded your empire. If you own those countries, then in essence, your country is larger as well. So part of the glory was he who has the most land wins or has the most power. So trying to get to the New World and stake a claim before another country could get there. And then obviously gold to gain wealth through trade and, um, you know, discoveries there. All right, the Columbian Exchange. This was the area that was the triangle of trade between Europe, Africa, and the New World. And basically, how it worked is Europeans would first go down to Africa, and when they went there, they would take things like textiles, it's fabrics and such, clothing, rum, and other manufactured goods to Africa and to people that were there. Then, while there, they would get Africans to be slaves that they could then take to the Americas. When they dropped the slaves off in the Americas, they would pick up sugarcane, tobacco, cotton, things that only grew in the Americas, and take that back to England. So it created this triangle of trade, and it was called the Columbian Exchange after Christopher Columbus. So, what were these motivating factors that caused explorers and others to come to America? It would be religion, trade and wealth, expanding the empire, and fame and glory.